everyone, a very happy Friday to you all. So for today's Pilates session, you will not need any equipment. The only thing you will need is a wall. And even then, you do not absolutely have to use a wall. So if you would prefer to do this workout outside, that's absolutely fine. And I will talk to you during the video and give you an option for if you don't have a wall for support. One thing I will mention is make sure you have something nearby if you do have balance issues. It is very beneficial to have something just to grab onto if you need to, so that you don't trip yourself up. And remember, stop at any time if you have any discomfort. All right, starting off, we are going to go right up against the wall. So we're going to be transitioning from the wall down to the floor, and that is the only transition we'll be making, so you don't need to be stopping and starting 1,000 times with this video. So starting off, I'm going to come right up against the wall. So what I'm trying to do here is bring my heels and my glutes and my shoulders and my head up against the wall. So I'm really trying to have a few points of contact with the wall so that I'm not arching my back away. And we're just going to start with some breathing here. So what I want you to do is take a nice deep breath in and then breathe out. Now I've got my hands on my belly here because what I'm trying to do is inflate my rib cage. As I breathe in through the nose and then breathe out through the mouth and feel my rib cage deflate. So inflating, feel the lungs expand, feel the rib cage expand. And breathe out. And we're just going to stay for a few more breaths here. So breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do one more here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, let's start to bring our arms into this movement. So palms up against the wall and just move within any comfortable range that you've got. So we're going to be inhaling as the arms reach right up ahead. And then breathe out as the arms come back down and around. Breathing in through the nose as the arms reach up. And breathe out as the arms circle down and around. Aiming to keep the shoulders back and down. Try not to let the shoulders lift up too much. Breathing in. Maintaining those points of contact with the wall. And breathe out, arms circling down. Let's go 3 more here. Breathing in. Nice strong wall angels. And breathe out. 1, let's go 2 more here. Breathing in. And breathe out. And 1 more here. Breathing in. And breathing out here. Okay, taking a little step forwards away from the wall, but you can still be very close to the wall here. I'm going to reach my arms up overhead and take my feet nice and wide. And I'm going to circle the arms around. So what I'm doing here is just linking my thumbs together so that my hands stay connected. Arms stay long and straight, and I'm going to go right around in a clockwise direction. So reaching the arms around and down, and then coming up and around the outside. Now you do want some room behind you here so that you can really poke the bottom out as you circle the arms right around. We're staying in that clockwise direction. So bring the arms as wide as you can through that great big circle. And keep the feet nice and wide. So reaching those arms right around, we're going to go 1 more after this one in a nice big clockwise circle. So reaching those arms right around and then coming right back up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Let's go in the other direction now. So now we're going anti-clockwise. Circling around on the floor. Doesn't matter if you can't touch the ground as you come down and through. And let's go 3 more times. Circling right around, getting a nice stretch through the sides of the body. And up and around. Let's go 2 more. Circling around. Oh, lengthening through those sides of the body. And 1 more here. Woo. And up and around. Beautiful work. Okay, keep that distance away from the wall now. And keep the feet nice and wide. But turn your toes outwards. And really spiral the knees open from the hips. So you're not letting those knees collapse inwards. Really turn the toes outwards and spiral the knees outwards. Now what we're going to do here is we are going to take a deep breath in to prepare. And then as we breathe out, we're going to go into a squat with wide-reaching arms, and then inhale as you come back up to standing with a proud chest. So come and join me when you're ready. We are going to breathe out as we sit back into the squat. And then breathe in to come back up to standing. Sitting back into the squat. Inhale to come back up. Breathe out to sit down. Inhale to come back up. Now here, I'm really sitting my hips back behind me and coming forwards just a little bit with the chest, but I'm still keeping my chest open so that I can look straight ahead. The whole time through this movement, I am spiraling my knees outwards, so I'm feeling a little bit of a stretch through the inner thighs. Shoulders stay back and down. Let's go for 8 more. Reach wide, standing up tall. Start to bring a little bit of a flow into it. And we go for 6. And 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. Really sit your hips back. And last one. Okay, we're going to change the squat that we're doing here. I'm going to bring my feet a little bit narrow, but you can see here my feet are still wider than hip width apart. And what I'm going to do is reach my arms forward as I sit back into a chair. So showing you the side on here, hips sit back. So you'll see my knees are not driving forwards. I'm really reaching forwards. I inhale as I reach forwards, and I exhale as I push away from the floor. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you a little option if you would like more of a challenge. So if you would like more of a challenge, watch my heels as I come up onto my toes and really use your balance with this one. So making sure that you are using the momentum of the push up of the squat to come up onto your toes. This is purely optional and it is very testing for your balance. Sit back into a squat, reach long like you're taking off. The longer you balance on your toes, the better, but within reason. Don't balance all day, but make sure it's not just a straight up and down. Really try and work with the control of your ankle and balance just for a moment. And you'll see here I'm struggling too. It is not easy to do, but really try and test your balance here, coming right up onto your toes. Good, let's go 3 more. Sitting back into a squat, coming up onto your toes. And 2. Up onto the toes. And last one here. Great work. Oh, you should be getting a little bit warm already because we're doing whole body movements to warm up. Now this next one here is the only exercise that you'll need the wall for. So if you are doing this in the garden, you can just do it without the wall and just sit into an intense yoga pose. So sitting right back into a squat. Now come and join me up against the wall. So imagine that you're sitting into a chair. Now go as deep as you are comfortable to. You do not need to sink too deep. So I would not go any deeper than the line of your knees. Now we're going to stay here for about 20 seconds. Bringing the arms up to 90 degrees and then open up through the window and close. So elbows bent to 90 and your quads should be burning. Open and close. Let's go 3 and close. And 2 and 1 more here. Okay, come up for a moment. We've got 2 more sets of that. So shake out your legs if you need to. And then when you're ready, coming down again, so slide yourself down so that your hips are just above the line of the knees. Elbows come up to shoulder height, open through the arms and close. We've got 4 more, open and close. And 3, good work. And 2, think about strong quads. Last one, beautiful, and come up. Oh my goodness. We've got 1 more set of those ones. So you can omit this set. You can just rest for a moment if you need to. Otherwise, walk your legs out in front. Slide your hips down. Test yourself with the depth of this movement now. Let's go for 5. Open. Squeeze closed. Squeeze shoulder blades together. And close. We've got 3 to go. 3. And close. And 2. Squeezing shoulder blades. Last one. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, come all the way back up. Fantastic work. Shake those legs out if you need to. Give them a little bit of a wiggle. And then we are going to be moving down to the mat. So when you're ready, coming all the way down, and I am going to move my camera so you can see me a little better. Woo. on my mat here. Now, finding a nice comfortable spot for your mat on the floor, and you don't need too much room around you, so we're not going to be moving around lots during this whole series here. So we're going to start off on our hands and knees and just a little bit of rocking back and forth, so sitting back towards the heels and then coming forwards, just to make sure that you're evenly dispersing the weight through your whole body, so through your hands and through your knees, rocking back and forth. And then as soon as you're ready, we're going to go into a donkey kick series. So with this one, if you do tend to get uncomfortable wrists, you can absolutely come down to your elbows here. That is absolutely fine. If you would prefer to stay up onto your hands, that's completely fine as well, because it's also good for strengthening through your wrists. One thing I will recommend though, if you are staying on your hands, is that you really try and spread your fingertips out and disperse the weight across your whole hand, rather than just load bearing completely on your wrist joint there. Starting off with even load bearing through all 4 points, and then we're going to ever so slightly shift our weight towards our right side, and I'm going to extend my left leg back behind me, then bring it back underneath. So you'll see here, no other point of my body is moving. I'm staying really well balanced, and I'm tucking my left knee under and then kicking back and kick back. So it's just a nice controlled movement. Foot's relaxed, but if you do prefer to flex your foot like I am here, you might get a little bit more out of the movement. If you tend to cramp through your hammies though, just keep your foot nice and relaxed. So let's go for 9 and 8, because it'll be 15 in total. 7 and 6, and don't get too excited, we've got a little burner at the end. 5 and 4 and 3 and 2, you're doing really well. Last one, push back and hold. Now bend at the knee, hold this position, and then stomp your foot towards the ceiling. So trying to keep the rest of your body nice and still, keep your knee bent, keep your foot flexed, and stomp your foot to the ceiling. Now you can absolutely be down on your elbows, keeping up with this though. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, oh my goodness, my little glutes, 3, 2, and last one there. Fantastic work. Oh my goodness, give your tail a little wag for a moment. We're going to be stretching your glutes after this. Now, hands and knees again. Now I'm going to be shifting my body weight a little bit more towards my left side now. And then I'm going to kick my right leg back and then tuck it back underneath. Kick back and tuck. Long straight leg. And remember, you can flex that foot if you want to get a little bit more out of it, as long as it won't cause your hammies to cramp. Check in with your shoulders and make sure that they're not hunched up around your ears. We've only got 8 to go. And 7, shoulders back and down. And 6, and 5, and 4, only 3 to go, and then you know what's coming after that, 20 little pulses. Okay, on this last one, kick back, hold. Flex the foot, flex the knee to 90, and pulse. You've got only 15 pulses left. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest there. Fantastic work. Sitting right back towards your heels, and just enjoy a few nice deep breaths here for a moment. You can sit in the child's pose if it feels nice. But your glutes should be burning, and that has probably prepared them quite well for the next exercise that's coming in a few steps. We're going to do something a little bit different though that we haven't done in any of the other workouts. So this is called a side plank that we're going to move into now. So take your time to come down onto your side. So you're going to be resting down. I'm starting on my right elbow here, and my forearm is really pressing into the mat. Make sure that you're not just loading completely on your right elbow. I'm then making sure that my hips and knees and shoulders are all in a straight line. So my knees are not all the way forwards. I'm bringing my knees so that they're right in line with the rest of my body here. Now we have a few different levels with this exercise. So I'm going to demonstrate them first, and then you can come and join me for the set. So this is one level here with your knees stacked, Another level here, which is the one that I do prefer, is with my top leg long and straight. And if you are really strong with the side plank, you can have a split stance, so top leg forward, bottom leg back, and then be lifted up in that position. That is if you're feeling especially strong today. If you would like a slight regression from there, which is the one I'll be joining you with, is bottom leg bent, top leg straight, and then lifting up in that position there. And then another option altogether is just knees stacked and lifting hips up. It's whatever you prefer, but this is really wonderful for strengthening through your side body. So we're going to be going into 3 short sets here. So I'm going to extend my top leg long and straight, find the option that suits you best, and then when you're ready, we're going to push through the bottom knee and lift the hips up here. Belly button drawn into spine, and I'm going to extend my top arm towards the ceiling. We're going to hold for 5 more seconds, so we're doing 3 rounds of 10 seconds. And then resting there, rest the hips back down to the mat. When you're ready, let's go again for 10 seconds. So lifting the hips up off the mat, I'm strong through the side of my body. Stay really tall and lifted, and you should be able to freely move your neck. 3, 2, 1, lower those hips back down, and we've got 1 more set here. So when you're ready, making sure that you're tall and lifted, you're not collapsing into your shoulder, and lift up. And we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resting there. Fantastic work. Let's come around to the other side. So now on the other side of your body, remember all of those different options that I showed you before. So either both knees stacked, top leg straight and bottom leg bent, or both legs long and straight and holding that strong, long, extended plank position. So coming to join me as soon as you're ready, let's go for round 1 of 10 seconds. Lift and hold for 10. Deep breath in, deep breath out. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower your hips back down. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, and when you're ready, let's go again. Lift those hips, reach the arm or hand on hip, whatever suits you best. Stay tall, stay lifted, shoulders back and down, belly button drawn into spine. And resting there, we've only got 1 more set here. So roll those shoulders back and down, maintain really open collarbones. And when you're ready, let's lift up. Lift, reach. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resting there. Beautiful work. Fantastic. Okay, side planks are done. Now let's get into those glutes. Now, if you've got a soft blue Pilates ball, that would be really nice to have underneath your head. If you've got a towel, that's fantastic. And if you've got none of the above, you can just rest on your bicep. And if you've got a nice cushiony bicep to work with, that works really nicely. Otherwise, just using a towel. And what I'm going to do here is stack my hips one on top of the other. So making sure that my pelvis is really well stacked. And while it might seem really comfy to be lying on your side, I want you all to imagine that you could wiggle your fingertips, if you can see mine there, wiggling underneath my rib cage there. So I'm finding that little gap underneath my tummy. Now, I don't want you to completely squish those fingertips there. I want you to really keep that nice little lift so that you could easily get a little pea or a little butterfly underneath there. Now, knees are bent and you want your heels to be in line with your bottom. So really bring those heels back behind you. Starting off here, maintaining that little waistline, keeping hips stacked and pushing your hips away from your rib cage. Here, we're going to start off with a clamshell and we're going for 20 repetitions here. So keep your heels glued together and open and close purely from the hip joint. So heels stay glued, shoulders are back and down, chest is proud. And we're opening and closing, purely spiraling through this top hip joint here. Okay, let's go for 9 more. And 8. Remember not to flop that top knee down. Let's go for 6 more. You can bring your top hand to the ground if you need to. And let's go for 4, and 3, and 2, and last one. Now a little challenge. You can either stay with that previous position or you can bring your heels off the ground and open and close the top knee again. Same movement as before, but now your heels are elevated off the ground. If your bottom is burning already, you can absolutely take a rest. But you're doing well in the position that you're in. This is hard. We've only got 8 and 7, and that should be burning your little glute, slowly lowering the leg down. We've got 5 and 4 and 3, opening and close, heels glued together. Okay, last one. Now what we're going to do is straighten that top leg all the way out and flex the foot. So see my little toes waving to you. Keep that foot flexed and lift and lower that top leg without losing your waistline. So you should be able to wiggle those fingertips underneath there. Movement only comes from the hip. So lifting and lowering from the hip, not from your ribs, not from your spine. We've got 8 and 7 and 6. Don't get too excited. We've got one little treat left after this. 3 and 2. Okay, lift up and hold and little circles. 5 in one direction, 5 in the other. So let's change directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest there. Beautiful. Give that hip a little rub. We're going to roll straight over onto the other hip, and then we're going to stretch both of those little glutes. So when you're ready, coming around to the other side. Make sure you can see me here. Okay. Getting yourself nice and comfortable. The other side of your body can be a complete other story altogether. So make sure that you do spend some time setting yourself up really well. So now, drawing belly button into spine, push your hip away from your rib cage, and then make sure that your pelvis little bones are stacked. So one hip is stacked on top of the other. Should be able to wiggle your little fingertips underneath your waistline, or at least pretend that you can get those fingertips under there. So make sure that you're not completely just flopping into the mat. You are active through your abs. Now from here, I'm going to glue my heels together and bring them back behind my bottom, and then open and close the top knee only. Shoulders back and down, so make sure that this shoulder is not touching the earlobe. Really keep that chest proud. That's already 5 done, already 25% of the way there. Good work, opening and closing that top knee. That's 10 now. Let's go for 10, and close, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, 5, opening and closing, 4, squeeze that glute, 3, and 2, and last one. Okay, now we're going to elevate those heels off the ground. So heels are lifted but still glued together. Opening and closing, top knee, check in with that little waistline. Make sure you haven't gotten too comfy on the mat. Opening and closing, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, it's burning already on this side. My poor little left glute needs to get more love. Okay, that's 10. We've got 10 to go. 9 to go, single digits. And 7 should be really targeting in that glute right there. And 4, and 3, oh my gosh, 2, and last one there. Okay, let those little hips just get some oxygen for a second. Then we're going to straighten out that top leg nice and long. Flexing the foot, so you should be able to see those little toes wiggling towards you. And then from here, we lift and lower, maintaining that waistline, moving only from the hip. So it's not a great big movement through the body. It's only a little one, working in the range that the hip will allow you this morning. Open and close. And you've got 6 to go. And then we've got those circles, don't forget. 4, 3, oh my goodness, 2. Now lift up and hold, and circles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest there. Fantastic work. Okay, we're coming back onto the back again to go into some hip stretches. So make sure your head's nice and comfy. And then from here, let's cross one leg over the top of the other leg. If you know that there's a glute stretch that suits you better, absolutely jump into that one now, because we're going to allow for about 30 seconds to stretch both. So 15 per side. And you'll see here, my right leg is crossed over the top of my left, and I'm pulling both knees apart away from each other. And then flex the feet. And then we're going to cross over the other way and give those hips nice stretch. Shoulders back and down. Breathing into those tight, sore little muscles. Breathing out. Stretching is really, really important, so make sure you're not just using this as a water break. Really enjoy these nice stretches through the hips, and then bring your feet onto the ground and rock the knees from side to side, because now we are going into some abdominal work. Now, one thing I will suggest here is if you know that you get lower back discomfort, or when you're doing abdominal exercises that you tend to burn through your thighs, you can get another towel, and I'm just going to show you right now exactly where to place that little towel. So you can do a little hip bridge and place that towel. You'll see here, it's just underneath my sacrum. So what I'm doing here is placing it pretty much at the bottom of my bottom, and it's helping flatten my back to the ground. So if you put it too high, you're going to be increasing the arch of your lower back. That's something you want to avoid. You want to place it right about where your tailbone is so that your lower back can easily imprint to the ground. So I'm going to keep my towel here so you can all just copy me if you do need to have a little backup or a bit of assistance through your lower back. But if you don't need it, you know that you are fine through your lower back, you can just forget about that towel altogether. Starting off here, we're going to go into quite a challenging abdominal movement. So I'm going to cue you through first, and then you can come and join me. So what I'm going to be doing is keeping my back flattened to the ground, really drawing my belly button into my spine, and imagining that I'm tucking my tailbone in between my legs. From here, I'm going to breathe in to prepare, then bring up one leg, followed by the other leg as I exhale to find a tabletop position. And then from here, I'm going to breathe in once more to prepare, and then exhale as I do a little pelvic scoop here. So exhale to tuck the tailbone and bring my legs up a little higher towards the ceiling. It is such a tiny movement because it is just the pelvis rotating. So drawing that belly button in and finding that little tiny little scoop there. Level 2 here, we'll be adding in a little tap of the ground and then a little bit more of a scoop. So tap and then scoop. So when you're ready, come and join me. So finding that comfortable position if you are using the towel, or if you're not, just make sure you're nice and grounded on your mat. Breathing in to prepare. And as you start to breathe out, bring up one leg tabletop position. Continue to breathe out, bring the other leg tabletop position. Hands can be open out by your sides or down by your sides. Breathing in again to prepare. And then breathe out as you go into that little pelvic scoop here. So imagine that you almost wanted to lift your sacrum off the ground, but you won't actually be doing that. It's just a little pelvic rocker. So inhale to prepare. Exhale to tuck the tailbone. Tiny little movement here just to get those lower abdominals firing. If you'd like more, tap and then tuck. Tap and scoop or tuck. We're here for about 15 more seconds. So find the little movement that is working best for your lower abdominals today. Little tiny tap, little scoop. You can do alternating legs tapping and then scooping if you want a slight variation. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and one more for good luck. Fantastic work. Find the mat again and rock the knees from side to side. Now, again, I'm going to demonstrate the movement first, and then you can come and join me. Level 1 for this next exercise will simply be reaching the hands either side of one knee with a little bit of upper body movement, and then reaching either side of the other knee. So alternating rocking the upper body towards the knee slightly. So one side to the other. That is level 1. It's really nice and gentle for those lower abdominals and lower back. Level 2 is going to be rolling up and bringing one leg in. Sorry, I should not have brought my upper body there. It's simply just bringing the leg towards your hands as you bring the hands either side of that thigh. Level 3 now, you got a preview before, is rolling up towards that knee. So roll up and look towards the knee. And then if you want to take it one little step further, bring the legs up to a tabletop and hands go either side of one knee, then either side of the other knee. And you can add in a roll up there if you'd like to. Very barky dog down there. Rolling up. Okay, so when you're ready, come and join me with the option that you feel would suit you best for today. So bringing up, I'm going to go into a more challenging option, and you can take one of the easier ones if you need to. If you are bringing both legs up, let's go now. Hands either side of one leg, then either side of the other leg. So always there will be one hand in between the thighs, and the other hand will be to the outside, and we alternate. Let's go for 8, Breathing in, breathing out. And we go for 6. Head can stay down, that's absolutely fine. Let's go 4 more. And 3. And 2. And last one here. Fantastic work. Okay, find the mat again with your feet and bring your heels really nice and close together. So my heels are touching now and my knees are going to touch to begin with. And from here, what I'm going to do is lift my hips up, open the knees out wide like butterfly wings, close my knees again, and then lower my hips back down. Lifting the hips up, open the knees out wide, close the knees, and lower the hips back down. Little butterfly glute bridges. Open the knees out wide, close the knees back together, squeezing through inner thighs, and then lower. Let's go 10 more. And lower. And 9. And lower. And 8. Should feel really nice through the inner thighs. 7, shoulders are back and down. 6 to go. Lifting hips up, driving through heels. Open the hips up as you open those knees out wide. Let's go 3 more. And just 2 more here. Good. And 1 more here. Beautiful work. Okay, we're going to finish off with a little bit of a spinal mobility movement now. So now, rolling up into a seated position, my crazy hair, and bring your legs out nice and wide. So this is the saw movement. I'll just move back slightly so that you can see me. And then from here, I'm going to open my arms up to a capital T. Feet are nice and wide. Now, I will demonstrate first, and then you can come and join me. So what I'm going to do is rotate through my spine, and then reach towards my little toe 3 times. Imagining that I have a little blade on the edge of my little finger and I'm cutting off my little toe. Pretty brutal, but it is classical Pilates, this movement here, the saw. So twisting through the spine, and you can come and join me as soon as you're ready. Pulse, 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 cutting off that little baby toe. Twist through the spine, alternating between sides. Inhaling up through the middle. Exhaling in 3 little pulses as you twist and rotate. Coming back through. Let's go 1 more on each side. And then last one to this side. Fantastic work. Bring your feet together if you can comfortably and lean forwards just a little, getting a nice stretch through the inner thighs. Deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth, and let's go 1 more. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And fantastic work, everyone. You have done your Pilates for your Friday, so thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and please let me know if you have any feedback at all. I always appreciate it, even if it is negative or positive. Thank you all, and bye-bye.